Hi, everyone. It's Mr. Hoffman. As you may know, February is Black History Month. This is a time when we as a nation and as a world celebrate the rich, wonderful culture of people of African descent, including Black and Brown people in the United States. And it's also a time when we remember the long, difficult struggle for full human rights and civil rights that Black and Brown people and people of African descent have had to go through in this country for centuries. It hasn't always been easy, but there have been great moments of hope. One of those moments was the writing of the song, Lift Every Voice and Sing. And I'm so excited to share this book with you this week, Sing a Song, How Lift Every Voice and Sing Inspired Generations, written by Kelly Starling Lyons and illustrated by Keith Mallett. This book tells one of many stories, important, necessary stories about the history of Black and Brown people and people of African descent in the United States. It reminds us how the work that so many began before us, including Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and other great leaders in the African American community started. But it also reminds us that we need to keep going forward and continue that work. So without any further ado, here is Sing a Song, How Lift Every Voice and Sing Inspired Generations. As I read, you may want to write down on a piece of paper this sort of graphic organizer. We're going to try to answer the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, why, and also how, as we read. I'm not going to collect it from you, but it may be helpful to you. At the end, I'll ask you a question, and I want you to think about it and write down a sentence or two to answer it. During the book, there will be portions of the story where I will sing the song because it's in the book. When that happens, I ask you to put the big beat in your body gently like this, but make sure that you listen more than you move, because it's really, really important to hear the song. If you wish, you can also put the big beat over your heart gently, just like this. Again, listen more than you move. Full disclaimer, I have never read a story on a video like this before. So if it doesn't turn out the way that we want it to, I'm sorry in advance, but just know that I did the best I could. And this is new for me, and so I'm trying my best. All right, this time for real. Without any further ado, Sing a Song, How Lift Every Voice and Sing Inspired Generations by Kelly Starling Lyons, illustrated by Keith Mallett. Before you were born, a girl learned a song. Her principal, James Weldon Johnson, and his brother, John Rosamond Johnson, had written the hymn for a celebration of President Abraham Lincoln's birthday. The girl wanted to make them proud. She hummed the song on her way home from school. She practiced it as she did her chores. On the big day, February 12th, 1900, she was part of a choir 500 strong. Back straight, head high, heart and mouth open, she sang. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. And she kept on singing as she grew up. She taught it to her students when she became a teacher. She crooned it to her husband as they journeyed from Jacksonville, Florida, to a new life in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She sang it when she rocked her baby boy to sleep. It was a part of her she wanted to pass on. And you know what? Her little boy learned that song. He listened to her hum it as she dreamed of being able to teach again in her new home. He heard his daddy sing it when the days at the steel mill wore him down. Then, one day, he stood in the choir loft and gazed at the glowing faces. Back straight, head high, heart and mouth open, he sang. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. And he kept on singing. He sang it when he came back from World War II and faced discrimination. He sang it when he joined the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored Peoples. The sign on the restaurant window says, "We cater to white trade only." He sang it with his wife and to his baby daughter as he rocked her to sleep. It was a part of him he wanted to pass on. And you know what? His little girl learned that song. She sang it each morning at school. A quick word about the sign on the restaurant window. This was a time in America often called segregation, when white people and black people and brown people were forced to use different facilities, different equipment, and even sometimes different seats. And they were served differently just because of the way that their skin looked. And that's obviously wrong. And it's something that we need to remember is wrong. And although it's easy to think that that kind of thing is gone today, it's still around in ways that that are just not as obvious. So I did want to point that out. It's something that we just need to be aware of, and we need to keep working to get rid of in this country. People should not have to use different things, different facilities, better or worse equipment or facilities or services just because of the color of their skin. His little girl learned that song. She sang it each morning at school. Then came the day that broke the nation's heart. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was killed. The next morning, she saw her teacher cry. Sobs replaced singing, then whimpers and silence. Who would lead them now? The song whispered an answer. Back straight, head high, heart and mouth open, she sang. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. And she kept on singing. She sang it at protests for equal rights and when she and her friends were jailed. She sang that song in her heart each time she won or lost a case as a lawyer. The signs on this page say equal rights, stop racism, justice for all. I can't read what this sign says. This sign says, I have a dream. This sign says, we protest injustice. This sign says, we shall overcome. And this sign in big red letters says, end racism. She sang it to her baby boy as she rocked him to sleep. It was a part of her she wanted to pass on. And you know what? Her little boy learned that song. Every family reunion opened with that anthem. He sang because he had to at first, but then something changed. He saw the awe in his grandparents' faces, saw the pride in his mamas and pops. Back straight, head high, heart and mouth open, he sang. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. And he kept on singing. He sang it at his college graduation and when he opened his first business. He sang it at rallies to stand up against racism. He sang it holding his wife's hand at Black History programs and when he rocked his daughter to sleep. It was a part of him he wanted to pass on. And you know what? His little girl learned that song. And on another big day, not too long ago, September 24th, 2016, she stood in a crowd of thousands along with her mama and daddy. President Obama, the First Lady, and generations of one family rang the freedom bell. A dream born a century ago to honor Black lives and contributions had finally come true. The National Museum of African American History and Culture was officially open. Side note, if after COVID-19 is all taken care of, you and your family go to Washington, D.C., this is a museum that you absolutely have to check out. It is supposed to be an absolutely incredible experience. The National Museum of African American History and Culture. With the Washington Monument piercing the sky, that little girl stared at the bronze building, majestic as a crown. As bells around the nation tolled in triumph, she heard a voice rising too, clear and strong. It was a song she heard her parents sing. Back straight, head high, heart and mouth open, she sang. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. And you know what? That song is part of you. Sing it when you score a victory. Sing when tough times get you down. Sing and think of all the people who sang before you, who carried on and pushed forward even when everything was against them. Sing and remember, they never stopped believing. Keep singing, keep pushing, keep passing it on. Keep on keeping on. And that is the end of the story. This song is incredibly important in American history. And because of that, I would like to sing the entire thing for you now, so that you can hear it from start to finish. The first verse. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Thank you for listening, for moving, and for keeping the steady beat in your upper body like this, gently, and listening more than you moved. Many songs written today, they're only talked about and shared for a few weeks or maybe a few months. But Lift Every Voice and Sing was first written and first performed 121 years ago this week. 121 years. That's like so many years. Why do you think this song is so important and still so important to so many people today? 121 years after it was first written and shared. That is the question that I'm asking you for this assignment. You can answer by providing a video response. You can record a video of yourself answering the question. With an adult's help, you can write the answer to your question. Or you can even draw a picture of your answer to the question, draw a scene of why. It is up to you. Again, the question is that many songs that are written and shared today, they're only talked about and shared for a few weeks or a few months. But Lift Every Voice and Sing was first written and performed and shared 121 years ago, 121 years ago this week. Why do you think this song is still important to so many people today? I'm really looking forward to your answers. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. It's something a little different from what we usually do. Please, if you have any questions, come to office hours or add a comment on Google Classroom. Have a great rest of your week and have a great rest of your day. And remember to keep on keeping on.